A couple of kilos at least. I don't know, man. Starting to think maybe this project wasn't that good of an idea. So it was pretty much out here, and then it just all fell down into the water. Cutter, and I cut so that I could put the little slider in here, right? And I thought, oh yeah, cool. Ow! Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Craig here on the Thai farm, where I just took delivery of my Wagyu beef cuts from Sangsi Farms. Check it out, dude. I got my short ribs here, man. I got 3 orders of these. They're pretty hefty. A couple of kilos at least. Actually, I think it is. I think it comes out to about 3 kilos of that. Short ribs. I got Wagyu ground beef, 100% ground. This is an 80-20. I picked the 80-20. You can get different ones, but I wanted the 80-20 in terms of the fat. I got a nice, oh my God. I got a nice big old tri-tip. Look at this baby, man. And of course, one mega brisket flat. Oh my God, dude, this is gonna cook all. Look how thick that is. This is a huge, nice selection. It's gonna be in my belly for a while. Oh, don't forget, I also got me a tub of the Wagyu butter. So, and all the good chefs will tell you, man, cook that steak in butter, dude. Or a tallow, I guess you could call it. Right? But oh my God, good stuff. You're gonna love that, man. The total price, $34.65. 3,465 baht. So just over 100 bucks, $110, something like that. Badass. I spend that going to the Japanese Wagyu restaurant over here, where it's all sliced wafer thin, you know, for the barbecue thing. And of course, don't get me wrong, that's pretty delicious over there, and it's all set up. But I could probably, just from this right here, I could probably do freaking 10 or 15 of those visits. Each one of those visits cost me about $3 grand. That's this one, 34. What a deal, buddy. You know, I'm tempted to hoard it all and not invite my friends over, but if you're watching this, don't come running over here, man. No. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'll leave a link to Sangsi Farm and the Facebook page. They have their price list of everything. The guy delivers it. Today's Saturday. I ordered it. It was shipped out on Thursday, which is like their shipping day or whatever. So out of Bang Na, whatever. Somewhere down, I think it ships out of Bang Na, so they got to send it to there, and then Bang Na, I get it frozen. You can actually get it like thawed or whatever, but you have to specify that so they can change the shipping, kind of, because I got the refrigerated frozen truck, I guess. Anyway, it's badass, and I think it's good prices, man. So you got to buy that. This farm was highlighted in the Naked Guru's channel with Ryan. Shared part 1 and part 2 of the story of Colin, this Australian guy who, you know, basically created Sangsi Farms with his knowledge of farming, and also the fact that, you know, he's straight up Wagyu. He's like the number 2 guy or whatever in Thailand for this. It's awesome. All right, man. Well, hey, let me get busy cooking something, and we'll see what else I get up to today. Back at you. Yeah. Well, it rained, torrential rain, like all night. All night and into the morning. And the wind killed my pond cam. Don't work now. And I got that torrential rain, water, flood kind of issue. So over here in my project house, I think I shared before, because I got the foundation cracked here. Damn it. That the water runoff was coming down here, and it actually, you know, it was coming between the little brick wall that was there with that little footer, and here, and I don't know, it was up against there, but I guess slowly water got in there, and then eventually the little brick wall here fell out, and then now the water seems to go like right in here. It falls right in here from up there. So I was like, so I had to come out during the rain, and I grabbed this from over there and I put this here to try and deflect it a little. But now, when I was sitting over there this morning in the rain, I saw this. Boom. So I got freaking mudslide away from on the side here. I mean, I didn't have much out here anyway in terms of, you know, whatever, in terms of the amount of room or wood, fucking dirt. But you can see here like this. So it was pretty much out here, and then it just all fell down into the water, which makes it looks like it's only about 1 foot. I probably got about 12 inches in that middle section, and this dirt is starting to look like that dirt in its coloration, which means I'm thinking I could lose this whole thing. And what's that gonna do? Well, now I see that even though this is extended, the runoff from here, I mean, it might have a little bit of a curve, but really it's about even, which is right down on top of this stuff. I can't really put a gutter on that. The only thing to extend it would be to actually extend it but I can't extend it. So a couple things. I need to get in the water. I need to get in the water, and I'm gonna do some. I gotta do some probing. See how soft this is. If this is all gush under here, you know, that means it's gonna fall or it's gonna fail. I don't know, man. I don't know. Starting to think maybe this project wasn't that good of an idea. Or I should say it was probably a good idea, just not a practical one. I mean, I think I'll probably have to steel pole all the way down in there, 3 or 4 of them, and then lay the brace, either wood or cement, flat brace, concrete wall, like a little mini wall, and then backfill it to make it all nice. But it's a water bank, which means that I'd have to have that wall all the way down, you know, to the, I'd have to have the wall like in that water all the way down past the, you know, past the bottom. I'm not ready to drain this pond. I mean, we do drain it, right, to collect all the fish. Well, it's not on the schedule right now. But when I drain it, I can probably do a heck of a job and be able to shore this up, you know. Put rock and gravel, you know, gravel and sand, even cement or whatever, block or something, and make something to shore this up. But I have to shore it up probably from all the way from over there, because it's already compromised the patio out here. So shore it up from there all the way to here. I didn't want to do that, man. God damn it. But that's not good. It just took so much, I guess it just took so much of the water, all as much as it could. And then it couldn't. I suppose I could, in the interim, you know, I'd have to tack down a sheet, you know, it's like plastic or whatever, to prevent further erosion. Maybe give it a chance to dry out. That's probably the best I could do, because it's September 2nd now. In September, it's supposed to be a hella rain month, and that's gonna suck. And these are one of those unexpected challenges that show up on the farm that you gotta deal with. Actually, my wife was the one who saw that when we were sitting over there. She goes, "Hey, look, landslide," you know. And I was like, God dang it. But it does, it looks like it's really soft. It's got that white color to it. Almost like there's sand, you know, from before, like when it was very, very first time it was built. They probably laid down sand. And actually, now that I'm looking, that's why I wanted to probe. But you know, all this is extra cement that fell when I was doing the, you know, cement and rendering all this and stuff. But I see there's kind of like a consistent kind of crack line. It seems to be going. I see it right there, and I see it right here. which means I may lose that whole wall, man. And if I lose that, then I might lose this. I might wind up seeing a big old. Now, I did make a effort to, to tie these beams that tie this top together. The two metal bars that are welded in there, that's all encompassed in the seam, so they're real solid, as far as the walls and the beams, the posts and stuff. This whole square is really solidly connected together. So if I lost that side, it might not crack the building, but it might take the building and go, I'm gonna fall into the lake. Next thing you know, I got to fall in the lake. Oh yeah, by the way, so on the continuing saga about how to slide the dang roof there, because I've been putting it off because my health issues, but now that's okay. But anyway, what I figure what I'll do, I'm gonna come out here, and I took this metal and I took my cutter and I cut so that I could put the little slider in here, right? And I thought, oh yeah, cool. But then as I started to cut, it was just, it was just more and more difficult. I'm gonna have to cut 2 of these and at a longer length than just that, because I think I had in another video where I put that up there. This is an extra piece from something else, but it wouldn't work, and I even wound up getting out of my hand and cut it wider. And this would be all like that, and I'm like, that ain't gonna work, man. Anyway, so I went to Global, and I did find something, just the actual piece. It's actually a door slider or something that I could use for this purpose instead of doing that. They're about 1,000 baht each, which sucks, and they're only 4 meters. But I haven't measured this to see if maybe I can get away with a 4-meter piece. But it'd be nice if I could. But then I don't have to buy 2 of them, and I could do that up there. But this is a bummer, man. More to say, I should have anticipated this. Why didn't I think of the freaking rain one off? It's because I was doing all this, and we haven't had super bad rain the last, I guess the last year or so. I've been working on this. It hasn't been a torrential rain, so I didn't really deal with this issue. And before I had this on here, the rain would just fall here everywhere, right? So it didn't pile up against that wall right there. But here, because it falls, it fell directly on there. And I should have anticipated that. I couldn't have anticipated that. I thought this one cleared it. I thought this cleared and would go into the water. Actually, you look at it right there, it looks like it's gonna go. But I think what was happening, instead of it, flying off the water just after the torrential bit, which would go into the water probably, the regular runoff would be heavier, so it would just kind of go like this and go straight down and just start chopping at my wall over here. Yeah. Because I also want to walk in front of that wall to see, is it giving at the bottom as well, giving way at the bottom. I got a bunch of the tree branches I cut from that mango tree. I chucked them in there. This has actually moved over, I think, because they were all over there. The current and the tide or whatever, and the fish, been moving that over. Anyway, let me get in the water, see what I can check out, see if it's anything real different. Damn it, back at you. Crocodile. Wait. How hard this is. There's a big old hole in here too. Probably a snake hole or something. One over here. Another one down here. That's a lot of room down there. Now this is all soft, man. This is all gonna probably come down. Look at that. Right in there. It's still a little solid. Not that. No, that's fucking soft. Real soft. That's soft. Ow! I can see under here there's a lot of the roots. Ow! It's the tree branches I'm stepping on. It's the root system that runs along here from these trees all the way, actually. And the root system allows cavities for all this dirt to vacate from underneath it. And I didn't build this. I don't know how far those posts go down in there. If you did the standard 1 meter square, it's probably good, but I have a feeling it might not have been like that. I don't know. What do you engineering wizards think I should do? It's all gush down there, man. Even actually over there, when I was walking to get into the pond, this area, even over here, squishy. Man, look at this over here. This is the extra cement from when I rendered it. This is a post. Gotta do something to protect that, man. Protect it, let it dry out a little bit, maybe. Guess I could use this tarp. Right now I have this tarp protecting my cement, but I'll probably have to find something else to do that. I'm gonna use this tarp, get it kind of anchored down in there. All right, man, let me do that. I'll get back at you. Well, that blue tarp wasn't gonna work. Fortunately, I still had leftover, or not leftover, but I still had some agriculture tarp, you know, the thick black one. So I laid it, and fortunately it was actually the exact same length I needed. So I just laid it here, and I kind of I put a rock on the corner, and then the steel bar to anchor it in there, because right up against the wall the rain ain't coming. But and then I put it on the inside of this wall. The water will still fall and it'll probably pool up or something, but because this deck actually kind of sweeps up at the edge, you know, so there's a cement edge, so I don't think the water would really go back over the edge and down in there, kind of the way the rain was falling. So maybe the water will find its way out like it normally did before, which is just off the end here. But yeah, man, I figured, you know, and would let my alligator or my crocodile keep guard. The big test, of course, will be the next torrential rain, which will probably be this afternoon. Because if the rain is so hard that it, you know, pushes this down, it'll push it away from here, then I'll have to get in the water again and freaking dig it all out. But I think it might be all right here. I don't really want to punch holes in it. But I might be able to put another brick or something up there, or right here, or whatever. I did put some metal. Maybe this thing, maybe this wood right here. Not wood, it's cement board, but I don't know. At least it's something. Hopefully that'll help it dry out and kind of keep it in place. If I see the agriculture tarp fall off and the whole thing caves in, what the hell, man? And I was thinking also, now that I just was thinking that maybe what I can do, because the whole project of, you know, the idea would be like these planks that I would, you know, make that wall out of these planks. Although these planks, you know, I can't lift them. I lifted them out the gate and I tore both rotator cuffs when I did it at the same time. But I mean, obviously I could probably cut them, but even then, even a half of one of these, or a third of one of these, or a quarter of one of these would be a bitch to manipulate and get in there. I might be able to find a guy. There might be someone out there that makes them thinner, because these are like that thick, and maybe they make them thinner, smaller, or shorter, I mean. And then and I could make a wall like that. But even then, you got a wall out there. How does that look, you know? So what I was thinking was maybe I could use like my steel that's laying over there against the wall, that extra steel. That's what I would use for posts, and I would post it all the way, hammer it down into the, you know, as close as I could to the edge, and then weld across. I might be able to screw it, but metal screw it, but which would probably be better. Yeah, maybe, you know, anyway, assemble what is really like a frame, like, so it comes, maybe I put it at the length going inside, you know, on the outside of the house. Of course I have a planter on this side, but anyway, so I have metal coming out, coming down, and then going across, so that it creates, that I can create like a deck. And then I could use maybe my short wood to, you know, use that agriculture tarp underneath it or whatever, and lay out the short wood so that there's an actual deck out there, and that way the water would come off and it would hit the deck. And maybe I could actually, you know, tilt the deck just enough, you know, like not enough to make you slip into the pond, but you know, have it a drain tilt on it or whatever, so that it goes into the pond and doesn't affect underneath. But now that I'm looking at it, I don't think that wood is long enough. I probably need a good meter outward. But that would probably be easier, because I mean, I got the metal here. I could pound those 2, 3, you know. There's 4 of them, yeah. So is there 4? Yeah, I think there's 4. Yeah, there is 4. So I could put 4 of them in there and just make a deck all the way across. Anyway, at least I feel a little better that I got that tarp on there. The other side doesn't appear to have that issue, and the other side I do have the deck out there. I made that wood deck, right? And those boards are 1 meter, but I made that wood deck. So that runoff from the roof, it must be hitting it. Must be landing right on that deck, I think. But anyway. Something to do here while you're retired and living on your Thai farm. By the way, there's no wind. It's like a still photo out there. Only thing that separates this from an alternate universe is the fact that the fish are popping up in the water, so you can see the water rings. Which reminds me of seeing stuff. I need to go butcher that stuff back there, because I cut that stuff back so I could see, you know, the landscape of the rice fields back there. It's already starting to block my view. Oh yeah, that's right. So you know, I went out to the river the other day. As a matter of fact, wait a minute. Hey bird, that's like a kingfisher or something right there on that. Yeah, it's got one of those blue bellies. Anyway, was at the river the other day when we went to just go get something from the market or whatever, and I was driving and I saw this plane, like a biplane, you know, or not a biplane, you know, the plane with the water pontoons land on the water, and I saw it go straight up in the air, and I thought, oh shoot, dude. And then it kind of was like hanging there a little bit, and I thought, oh my god, that guy's in trouble, he's gonna crash, you know. And so I pulled over, and I was telling my wife, I go, dude, that plane, look at that plane. And we pulled over, and then as I pulled over, I started noticing, like, wait a minute, what? And then I could see that it was actually a remote control plane. It wasn't it was big, but it was remote control. So I was like, whoa. So I whipped out my phone and I recorded a little bit of it. The guy would, you know, do a 360 or whatever, and he'd go, yeah, and he'd land on the water, and then he'd kind of go, yeah, and he'd take off again and stuff. And so I'll show you that video. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
You can land in the water.
I know, pretty cool, man. Huh? Yeah.
เทศบาลเมืองกำแพงเพชรกำหนดชำระภาษีที่ดินและสิ่งปลูกสร้างประจำปี 2568 ผู้เสียภาษีเจ้าของที่ดินหรือสิ่งปลูกสร้างหรือผู้ครอบครอง
See, you could have that could be your pastime. I didn't even know they sold those here. That's the first one I've ever seen at our river. It was pretty cool. What else? Ain't got much going on today. I gotta do some stuff. My wife's up at the hospital with her mom and for the checkup, and I gotta go for my final checkup for my lungs, but that ain't until the evening clinic, like 4 o'clock. So I'm just waiting for my wife because I gotta go pick them up. And but yeah, chilling on a Tuesday in Thailand. Thailand Tuesdays.